Hello everyone, my name is Janendra and I am senior software engineer in Microsoft Hyderabad. The coding interview rounds, which basically happens when you apply for the software engineering role, senior role, staff role, junior role, mid-level role, and what are the expectations set for the each role. And it's not all about writing the code and running it successfully. It is more beyond that, which is access, because writing code is, with the AI era, it's becomes very simple. And obviously the candidate is not just only on mm, writing a code. Yeah, it is a best part, like code. If you run the code, you will pass the interview. It likely to happen, but there are other factors which are checked more. So I will tell, like most of the companies, if you apply for mid or principal staff, any role, they will take the screening round. Like for Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they usually take the screening round, and that is done on HackerRank, or it can be on the coder pad. And once you clear that screening round, you will be proceed towards the the loop round. Then loop round consists of coding round, design round, and behavioral round. For the junior candidates, design rounds are not given so much importance. I can't for mid engineer design, system design and low level design is very mandatory. But for junior engineer, system design is not as mandatory. For junior engineer, you need to know, you will have more coding rounds and the low level design rounds, which is checks basically the ops concept, solid design principles, design patterns. These concepts are generally checked. For mid candidate, you will go through the system design round plus coding round. For senior and staff principal, you will have equal number of coding and design rounds. And at the staff and principals level, design is very much checked. You need to deep dive into design. For mid-level candidate, design will be like covering the functional requirement mainly, and you don't need to deep dive on the non-functional aspects like performance, reliability, scalability. But for principals, it is very much required. You should go on trade-off. So I will more cover on the system design round in my next video, but this is more focused on coding round. So how much problems will you solve and how will you start and everything, I will say from the beginner. If you are a fresher college pass out, you might have gone through the basic programming languages in your in your engineering course. So what I would suggest is, if you are new, you can take any platform. Just stick to one platform. Don't switch the platform. Like solve some questions on gigs and then switch to HackerRank, then switch to Lead Code. So what must is required is, you should stick to a particular platform. Let's say nowadays Lead Code is very famous. Okay, so solve some questions. Start with easy level. Okay, don't jump to on the medium level or high level, because if you are new, just stick to the easy levels. Get a confidence on solving 20 or 25 easy problem, and then a step towards the medium level problems. Okay, DSA is very important. DSA concepts are there, are pattern. I will share on the comment sections the DSA pattern links which you can go through. There are top 75 lead code problems also. There are top 150 lead code problems also that you can solve. So start solving with the easy problems. Get a confidence, step towards like um, medium level problems. And the more important thing is, like if you are preparing for Amazon, Google kind of interview, you have to solve a very hard problems also. Hard problem is very much required. But spend for a screening, I think medium level problem works. But the other companies which are not fang, like I can say, the if you go for any telecom companies or the medium sized e-commerce company, they may not ask you hard questions. So don't, if you are targeting those company, don't spend too much time on the hard problems. But yeah, medium problems you have to solve for those companies as well. Like if you problem solving with Atlassian or Intuit or if you are preparing for, let's say, Qualcomm, Samsung, you have to solve a medium level problems. So the first thing is start with easy problems, step towards medium problems, solve as many as medium problems. Okay, it's not about the quantity of the problem you solve, but you have to also practice on pen and paper. Disable the auto mode in lead code. Okay, uh, I would say to take the premium members. Premium member really, yes, helps because you can filter the questions by companies. Let's say you are um, trying to prepare for the Meta interview, and if you go through the Meta last year's Meta tag question in lead code, really it helps, right? And there is a and Meta mostly repeats the questions for the screening and their coding round. So if you have gone through the past tagged Meta questions, and I will give the link as well. There is a channel with coding with Minma that really helps. That channel has a list of all the Meta related questions. Generally Meta generally ask, but you can't be so sure, but yeah, there are chances that they can take any question from that their bucket list. Okay. So this is all about like how you should prepare. Okay, and it's not yeah, as I said, it's not about the quantity, it's more about how far. It's your about learning, are you getting that pattern? Like there are some DSA pattern, right? Sliding window pattern, two pointers pattern, and there is a pattern, there's a graph DFS. So if you solve two three problems on graph, you will get a confidence, and if any unknown question comes to you, at least you will get some grip how to solve those problems. Yeah, so try solving those problems. Okay, and and more specifically, I would recommend to take the premium for lead code. There you will get a company wise question. Amazon also repeats, even Google's also, but repetition in Google is very less. They come up with some kind of variations in their question which has not asked so far in the past. Yes, so uh, and these are related to the coding preparations. Okay, at least for Google, at least solve 20, 25 30 hard problems. Okay, based on graph, DFS, algorithm, DP. For Amazon as well, for Microsoft as well, for for Meta as well. I think 10, 12, 20 problems, but solve at least 70 medium problems. Okay, for these companies: Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Atlassians. Solve at least 70 to 80 medium level problems, and focus. And also, once repeat those, just revisit those questions which you have solved. It is not like that once you solve and it just went out. Solve within a time constraint, solve in a pen and paper, get it verified with the AI tools like ChatGPT. Where is the bug in my program? But while solving problems lead code, I would not suggest these AI tools. Solve it with your approach. Okay, so generally the coding round, this is all about the preparations. So um, what mainly on the coding rounds, mainly these are 45 minutes rounds. Meta generally asks two questions, Amazon may ask one question, Google may ask one. If the It depends on the problem, right? If the problem is, let's say, medium level or hard level, they can ask one problem. But if it falls within the medium or easy problem, they may ask two questions, like one on binary tree and one on the graph, on one on simple array on. So um, you have to practice on the time frame as well, and that is more required. Okay. uh, so once a problem is given to you, let's say a particular company has taken your coding interview round, and they have posted the problem in the coder pad link. You should clarify the problems first of all. They expect you to ask the clarifying questions. Okay, just feel like that you are talking to a product manager, and get the clarification in the requirement. And if you don't clarify the major requirement, this will be a major red flag. After that, if you solve the questions and doesn't cover some part of the requirement, it will be a red flag. So what I would suggest is take 2 3 minutes of time, understand the questions, and it is fine, completely fine to ask as many as clarifying questions. Okay, get a proper requirements. Okay, and in the same coder pad you can just list the requirement as a bullet point one, like let's say if I ask the simple problem, let's say find the common ancestor between two nodes in a binary tree, just list out the requirement, whether the node will be outside the tree or node will be inside the tree, what happens if there is only one node, what happens if the tree is empty. Okay, so these are some corner scenario, and just it should not be so minute. Okay, uh, you just list down all the functional requirement and get it agreed with the interviewer, and then proceed ahead. One of the main things which is seen in the coding is communication. Communication is more important. It's not like that they have given you a question and you just be a silent and write the questions and run it all the test cases and get it passed. You may not get selected in this so why? Because your communication went very poor. Okay, you have to communicate with your approach. And if you are applying for, like, say, senior or role or staff role, trade-off is mandatory. Like, you just discuss the brute force approach. It's many time it happens that things doesn't come in the optimized solution doesn't come in one go. You just uh, go with some uh, brute force method, and then you come up with uh, optimized one. It is completely fine. I have seen a candidate, they came up with brute force, they coded the way in the brute force, but due to time constraints they just told the approach, the optimized approach, they gave us some sort of pseudo code, and then they got selected. So coding round is not all about passing the all test cases. It's all about the well defined communication. You should drive the interview. Okay, you should lead the interview. Just tell the interviewer, for solving this problem we have this number one approach, the number two approach. Okay, if you have to let's say given an array, and you have to and a given a target, and you have to find two number which sums to target. So the first idea which comes to your mind is the brute force method. You just find all the pairs and check with this whether this some of these pairs sums to a target or not. And then they will tell you to go to this will require order of n square complexity, because you will run into two loops. And then what they expect you, like, go to optimize way, then you think of some kind of storing the previous values, some sort of map data structure, right? And and then and then you can find uh, whether this can lead to some target sum or not. I'm just taking an example, right? So this way you can also go, just you can start off with the brute force approach. Yeah. uh, okay, so this is all about the, and this is the communications. So as you write the code, just speak out. Okay, just tell this is the way I'm doing it out, this is the way I'm just putting this variable under this check. Just please go on communication. What happens if you don't communicate? Interviewer will take their time to understand your code, and if you, while writing the code, you keep on explaining your approach and thought process, it will be very easy for the interviewer to assess you and understand. Because interviewer has to understand your code, that is the fact. If he doesn't understand your code, he will be give some other feedback, and he keeps on writing the feedback how well you are on each aspect. So requirement gathering plus communications plus writing a clean code. Compile time is, it's okay, you don't put a semicolon, it's completely fine, but the code should be readable. Okay, and the more important is test cases. You have to write test case. They expect you to write the test cases, unit test cases. You should handle um, all kind of inputs. Let's say they tell you to reverse words, a string in the words, and you have to think of all the corner cases, if string can be empty or word is null, those kind of things. So just think of all the corner scenario. So coming back to the list of things which is required at the coding interview is requirement gathering, well defined requirement gathering, communications, okay, how well you communicate your thought process. If you are applying for senior or staff candidate, must go through the trade-offs, what or the approaches to solve the problems. Okay, that is very much because as a senior you are expected to explore all the possible options. Okay, then third is writing a clean code. Okay, and the final is writing a test case, a unit test cases. So you, if you cover all these points now, it is well, and the interviewer will be happy, and there is chance that you will get selected. So all these things are seen. I have seen candidates, they just write the code and just, that may not sounds good to the interviewer. They are coding round is not only expected to write code, it is more about your approach, communication with the interviewer, how you lead the interview, uh, how you have impressed the interviewer, how well you have captured the requirement. You should not like requirement, getting an improper requirement is the major flag. All these questions. Yeah. And last, if they ask you if you have any questions for me, this is very important. This shows your how much passion you are passionate about this role. Before coding round, just go through about the hiring team, what hiring team does, what technology they work on. You can ask anything on that part of the technology. What are the challenges in that technologies, and what are the vision for this team? All those things you can ask. Or if you have some other technical questions, you may ask related to the domain they work on. And then they feel that you are very you are curious person, and you are passionate about joining this role. It reflects. Okay, so I will make next video on system design, and hope you have liked this video, and I will paste all the necessary links for preparations that I have told. Uh, so wish you all the best, and let me know if you have any questions on the comment section. I will be happy to answer them. Yeah, all the best. Thank you so much.